Hello, everyone, and welcome to this another 3-day training palooza. Where we going to share with you some of our most creative and most niche, and yet at the same time quickest to implement strategies that you can imagine. So my name is Jack Bosch, and I'm going to be your host through this to this few days. I'm going to have a couple of co-hosts or guests coming in here and there, and we are going to talk about some really interesting strategies that you typically don't hear anyone in the land space talk about. So, who is excited to talk about how to get land deals for $100? Like, who is excited about how to get deals, how to find large development deals that you can actually pass on to a developer or partner with us and potentially, not an earnings claim, not an income promise, make six figures or even multiple six figures? Who is excited about how to pick small, tiny niches in like geographical niches and simply contact owners with blind offers and get deals with a where you know you can make $10,000 or $20,000 in it. So, and in none of these strategies do you spend more than probably a couple of $100 in marketing expenses. Who is excited about these micro strategies with almost no marketing expenses that you can go and make 5 figures, 6 figures, and some cases even 7 figures? That's what we're going to talk about today, tomorrow, and the third day. So again, my name is Jack Bosch. I'm super excited to host this with you. This is exactly the Deal Finder Intensive, where we're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can do deals. So the first thing I want to cover right now is again, you guys have been coming in here. I know if you've, I think there's a Facebook group involved here too. If the team has not yet shared the Facebook group, make sure you join the Facebook group where we're gonna also do like share with you a bunch of like student success stories where we're gonna answer your questions outside of this live session. So if you have questions, head over to the Facebook group. So if our team could post a link there. Also, guys, you all have been given a land expert at your site so that you can connect with. And so make sure you do that. You go connect with the land expert, ask your questions there. But more than anything, most importantly, I want to introduce myself. Again, my name is Jack Bosch. I'm originally an immigrant from Germany to the United States of America. My wife, Michelle, and I started in this country with absolutely nothing. We came here with with 2 suitcases each, a bunch of dreams, and we went here and finished our college degree. Michelle came here as an undergrad with 18 years old in 1995. I came here in 1997, a few years older, to finish my master's degree. We met, we fell in love with each other. We fell in love with the United States. We got jobs. We got to the job. After graduating from college, we had a work permit. Then we got an H-1B visa. Through that, we got the green card. And now we're American citizen for many years already, here to stay. And in the process, we realized the frustrations of corporate America. Who is frustrated about corporate America, guys? Who is realizing that corporate America is not really what it was made out to be, particularly if you work in one of the large companies where you basically just a little number in the wheel. You have nothing to say. You have meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting to decide there's another meeting, to have yet agree on a third meeting, to finally make a decision on something that could have decided without the meeting in the first place. Right. So that's how my life was. I was in a software company. I was working at American Express at different customers. And it was just a marathon of meetings and never anything ever happened. And I realized this is supposed to be my future for the next 40 years working that. I rather die. So we started looking around, and through a long trial and error process, through failing forward, we bought courses, we failed. We bought programs, we failed. Who's familiar with that? Whoever bought a program and failed, guys. So we went through all these kind of different things. We tried house, we stumbled into real estate. We tried house wholesaling. We failed. We bought the wrong property. We put the wrong property in a contract for the wrong price, estimated the repairs wrong, and ended up not being able to sell that thing. Then we tried to do a fix and flip. We couldn't find anyone to give us money for it. Then we tried, et cetera, all kinds of different things. And finally, we stumbled into this little known asset class called land flipping, which is really the maverick class of real estate. The maverick class, what I mean by that is basically when everyone zigs, you zag. Everyone runs after houses. Everyone runs after fix and flips. Everyone runs after these kind of typical kind of land real estate things. And yet, hidden from sight is an asset class that has where there's 96 million pieces of land. Actually, I was corrected. There's actually 160 million pieces of land. I always thought there was only 65 million, but it's actually 160 million pieces of land. And 95 million of those are in private ownership. And of those at any given time, 2-3 million pieces of land are owned by people that absolutely don't want them anymore. And so what we have figured out is a strategy on how to find those people, get in front of those people, get these people to give us their properties for pennies on the dollar, anywhere from 20 to 60 cents on the dollar, and then turn around and wholesale those same pieces of land for quick cash, for piles of money, or for cash flow streams by selling them with seller financing and get cash flow for them. That is our core strategy. But in the process of that, and if you want to know more about that, then make sure you go to our team, book a call at landexpertcall.com. They can point you to different kind of like multi-day webinars we've done where we explain that kind of strategy. But that strategy, our core strategy of getting, that's a direct mail strategy, or you can also go to some other strategies. But the core strategy is a direct mail strategy where we find the people, where we identify the people we identify hot markets in the United States where where properties sell very quickly. Then we identify the owners that don't want those properties anymore. Oftentimes it's longtime owners. It's people that have passed away. Well, meaning you're dealing with the heirs. It's people that went through divorces that don't want these properties anymore. We get those properties for pennies on the dollar under contract. We turn around and very quickly, without even buying those properties, we pass that deal on to somebody else as a wholesale transaction, assignment, double closing, et cetera, and we make money in the process. That strategy I've explained just literally last week in a multi-day training. If you want to have the archive of that, make sure you let our team know. Put in the chat box if you want the archives of that. The team can send you a link to that. But what we are talking about today is a different approach to get land deals. It's a different approach because in the process of doing this, since the year 2000 and the end of 2002 is when we got our first deal done. So basically, whatever is that, like 23, 24 years now that we've been doing these kind of deals. We have... great. So there's a lot of people that would love to have the recordings to the other sessions. So guys, if you can reach out individually and send that to them, that would be great. But what we're talking about right now is a strategy because in that process, since the end of 2002 till today, we have done thousands of land deals. And in that process, we have developed over 20 different additional strategies on how to get land deals. We have developed over 20 different strategies, and the 3 of those strategies we're actually going to showcase this week. As a matter of fact, I'm not just going to showcase 3 strategies. I'm probably going to showcase more like 7 or 8 strategies, just like mixed up together. But today, the focus today is on tax delinquent land deals. Now, what does tax delinquent land deals mean? So first of all, let me share my screen with that because I want to make sure that, let me see, we're in the... yes, start here. So I want to make sure I share the right screen. So first of all, there's many different ways to find land deals. Many also include minimum marketing cost, right? Very minimal marketing cost. And so, for example, there's some tax delinquent strategies. And one of the strategies is what I call tax delinquent strategies. Tax delinquent strategies basically means the owners of the properties have stopped paying property taxes. As you guys know, if you live in the United States, or if I put in the chat box, by the way, where are you guys from? Where are you guys from? Put it in the chat box. Let me know. Where are you dialing in from? We have several hundred people here. So where are you dialing in from? Would love to know where you're coming in from. So there we go. Like we see like Virginia, Texas, Dayton, Florida, California, Delaware, Franklin, Texas, Missouri. Is anyone from out of the country, guys? Chicago, Netherlands, Joan, wonderful, good to see you here. Sandy, Tennessee, El Paso, Upper Marlboro, Maryland, wonderful. New Jersey, Norfolk, New Jersey, where else? Germany. Hey, Jack. Hi, Annette. Lancaster, Texas. Okay, wonderful. So you're from all over the place. So here's the rules in the United States. So most of you know that, so I'm going to just skim right over it. In the United States, if you own a piece of property, you have to pay property taxes. Now, in other countries, that's the same thing too. But in the US, the property taxes is a main factor of how the local governments pay their bills. So it's not unheard of that, let's say in Massachusetts or even in Hawaii and other places like that, if you have a property that's worth $1 million, you pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year in property taxes. If you have a $300,000 house, you pay anywhere from $2,000 to, in some states, $10,000 a year in property taxes. If you have a piece of land, now here comes the thing. If you own a piece of land that you don't use, that is just sitting there, that is costing you you had plans to actually perhaps move there. You had plans to build a house there. You had plans to retire there. Perhaps it's a large kind of piece of land, like what we call a mini ranch, like a 20-acre place that you wanted to go, that you perhaps for several years spent your weekends on, but now the owner's getting a little older and he has no more use for it. Every year that tax bill comes in, $2,000, $3,000, $500, $5,000, $10,000, $200, whatever the number may be, comes in, and you're sick and tired of paying these property taxes. Now, here's the thing. When somebody absolutely does not want that property anymore, wouldn't it make sense for that person to stop paying property taxes altogether? Right? Wouldn't that make sense? Yeah, and it would make sense. Let's do this interaction, guys. Put it in the chat box. Would that make sense? Like, here's the thing. The first, there's people all over the country. In any given time, there's 60 million pieces or 90 million pieces of land. And any given time, there's like 3, 4, 5% of them, of the people don't want their pieces of land anymore because they've owned it forever. They passed away. The heirs don't want it. I mean, and if you're an heir, do you want a piece of land on the other side of the country that costs you $2,000 a year in property taxes, or you just want to get rid of it? The answer is you just want to get rid of it. So what happens is that tax delinquent property owners, turns out, are even more motivated than regular landowners to get rid of their properties, because they essentially have already raised the white flag and they're already saying, like, I don't want this property anymore. I'm raising the white flag. I'm basically saying, government, please take that property from me. Now, there's multiple ways that the government takes those properties from people. Like, the first way is, let's talk about that quickly. There's tax delinquent property principles. The county needs money. And the county gets a lot of their money from sales tax, but a large amount of money from property taxes. So you have a house, or you have a piece of land, or you have a commercial property, or you have an industrial property, you pay property taxes every single year. If you don't pay property taxes, the county doesn't wait around. And that's a huge difference between Europe and the United States. In Europe, they basically slap a lien on it, but they wait forever until they actually go and until they do anything about it. In the US, it's the wild, wild west. So what happens is the county needs money. If the owner of a property doesn't pay property taxes, the county either goes down the tax lien process or the tax deed process. Now, what does this mean? The tax lien process means that within a year or a year and a half of the owner of the property not paying property taxes, the county issues a lien against the property. Then they sell that lien at the public auction. And so you can actually attend tax lien auctions and buy liens against properties. And then what happens is the owner has 3 to 5 years until where they can pay the property taxes off. And if they don't, after 3 to 5 years, the lien holder can actually foreclose on that property. Now, this is beautiful. The problem is that if you go to a tax lien auction today, and you buy a tax lien, you can potentially foreclose on that thing 3 years from now. But who would like to make money now, not 3 years from now? Right? Can I get a heck yes on that? Like, we want to make money today, not 3 years from now. So the tax lien process is okay. It is actually cool. It's a good strategy to invest money if you want to get a 12, 16, 18, 24, even 36% interest rate, because that's the interest rates that you receive on the money you invested in these tax liens. But it's not necessarily the strategy to make money today. So then there's a second strategy behind it, And that second strategy, and this is all strategies we've discovered while doing land deals. And I'll tell you how we discovered that in just a second. The second strategy is now is the tax deed process. So about half of the country are tax lien states and half of the country has tax deed states. In a tax deed state, what happens is after 2 to 5 years of, they don't issue a lien against it. They don't sell the lien at public auction. Instead, the county just sits back and waits. So after 2 to 5 years of non-payment of property taxes, the county simply either forecloses on the property and puts it up for auction, and then sells that property to the highest bidder, or even that's usually what happens. They basically take it away, or they get the right to sell it and they sell that property at public auction. So strategy number one I want to share with you today, and we're actually going to talk about that a little bit later on more, is that you can actually attend tax deed auctions and buy properties right there without marketing costs, without any mailing costs and stuff like that. Buy properties right there. The only thing is, obviously, this is not a secret. Obviously, many people know about tax deed auctions. There's a bunch of people showing up there. So there's a clear strategy for going about this in a way that you can actually get deals at 20, 30 cents on a dollar. And that strategy is our blind offer. That strategy is our tax deed strategy for land offer. So the land strategy. So there's a specific process that you go through. That number one, you focus on land, because what do most people want to buy at a tax deed auction? They want to go buy houses. Why? Because 99% of the real estate market of everyone out there that gets into real estate goes after houses. So if you want to make money in the tax deed world, you focus on what everyone doesn't focus on, which is land. It's the maverick kind of asset class. When everyone zigs, you zag. Everyone focus on the houses and there's lots of competition, you go after the land. And the beautiful thing is that land is in demand. Land is hot. It's the hottest it's ever been. And particularly if you do that in markets that are hot, in markets where the properties fly off the shelf. Because it's so much easier to sell something that somebody wants than something that you just happen to have and that you need to get rid of. Does it make sense? Like, repeat after me. It's easier to sell something that people want than something that you just happen to have and you have to get rid of it. So with that said, that's strategy number one, the tax deed strategy. So you go after land, you perhaps go into a little bit more rural areas, but with demand. But again, everyone goes after houses. Very few people go after land. But there's an even better strategy than that. How would you like be able to get pieces of land for $100 to $500, own them, and then have the government sell it for you and make thousands, tens of thousands, if sometimes even 100 grand or more, without even putting any effort into the sale? Anyone would like to know how to do this? That's what I'm about. That's what the next strategy is about. And that strategy is what I call excess proceeds strategy. So each year, there's over $5 billion worth of land, $5 billion worth of real estate being sold at tax deed auctions. $5 billion are being sold. Counties, cities put up auctions. Again, the process works thus. The owner doesn't pay the property taxes. And after 2 to 5 years of not paying the property taxes, which again is an indication that they don't want the property, because they're basically saying, I so much don't care about this property that I'm willing to let it go for back taxes. I'm okay with getting nothing for it. I'm okay with getting rid of it. And for $0, I just want to get rid of the burden of property ownership. You guys get that? Who follows me on this? Like, say follow if you follow me on this. Say follow if you follow me on this. All right. So now here's what happens. At these auctions, counties, cities put these properties up for auctions. Then what they do, they publish the auction in a newspaper. They publish it, and these properties often sell at top market values. These properties often sell at top market values. So here is, so far so good. So what you can do now, what if you could pay really close attention to this next 30 seconds? What if you could buy a property with back taxes, a tax delinquent property, directly from the owner just days or weeks before the tax auction, from the longtime owner. So not at the auction. You don't attend the tax deed auction. You don't buy at the auction. This is a different strategy. You contact owners of properties whose property is about to go up for auction 2 or 3 weeks later, or 6 weeks later, or 2 or 3 months later. You buy these properties. You actually become the owner of these properties. Then you do not pay the property taxes. You let the sale proceed. You let the property go to auction. And when it goes to auction, the county sells it for you. The county now sells your property at auction at, usually, if it's a well-marketed auction in a hot area, the price of that property that you just let go to auction, that you bought for pennies from somebody who doesn't want it anymore, perhaps even is afraid of letting it go to auction, you buy it for $100, $200, $300, let it go to auction, and the county sells it for your price well above the amount in back taxes owed. The county now receives the back taxes, but who receives the overage? Let's do it as an example. Let's say there's a property. You come across a property. It's worth $20,000 or it's worth $40,000. It owes $10,000 in back taxes. And the owner says, I don't want it anymore. You contact that owner and you offer that owner $300 for the property, and you assume the $10,000 in back taxes. They say, absolutely, take it. I don't want it. I don't care about it. I know it's coming up for auction. Take it. So you pay him $300. You get a deed. You get the deed recorded. You now own the property. You do not pay the $10,000 in back taxes. You let it go to auction. And at the auction, it now sells for $30,000. Now sells for $30,000. What happens? The county gets $10,000, but who gets the $20,000 overage, guys? And the $20,000 overage goes to you guys. It goes to you, the last owner of record at the time of the tax deed sale. So in other words, what you just let's look at this. I've done this many, many times. I've done this many, many times. I've actually have 2 of these properties in the process right now. So I bought an 1-acre property behind a prison in California for $100 from a longtime owner who didn't want it anymore. The back taxes owed were $3,500. I did not pay the back taxes, but it sold at auction for $14,000. After $400 fee, a $300 fee, I received a $400 fee. I received the excess proceeds of $10,100. So now here comes the question that you guys are asking, and I see the questions in the chat box left and right. Why wouldn't the owner just do that if they received the overage? 2 reasons. Number 1, they don't know that exists. Did you know it exists? Put in the chat box if you did not know this strategy exists, or if you just knew it because you learned it from me in the past. But if you didn't know it from me, did you know this exists? Put it in the chat box. No, I didn't know. Nope, I didn't know. I didn't know. No, I didn't know. Didn't know. Yes, I did, said somebody. No, a couple, 2 or 3 people says I knew, and the vast majority said I didn't know. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2, they think if they let it go to tax foreclosure, it'll affect their credit score, because after all, it's a property foreclosure. But here is actually a rule that is important to know. In law, and I'm not an attorney, nor do I play one on television, but I asked attorneys about this, and multiple attorneys actually confirmed this for me. In the law, in the world of law, there's debt, and there's what's called in rem debt and in personam debt, and these are Latin words. In rem means in the thing. In personam means in the person. So here's the thing: when you take on a loan, you buy a house, a $500,000 house, you put $100,000 down, and you get $400,000 loan. You sign with your own handwriting, you sign for that loan, and as a result, this is a personal debt. You actively put your John Hancock under that loan document so that you are responsible for the loan. So that's an in personam. The loan is in the person. The debt is in the person. So if you don't pay that loan, your credit is screwed. Property taxes are not in personam debt. They're what's called in rem debt. And rem means the Latin word for thing. I had 7 years of Latin in high school in Germany. Never met a Roman I could talk to, but in other ways, the bottom line is it's ridiculous. Never waste of my time. But anyway, today it's helpful. I know what rem means. So in rem debt is basically the sheer fact when you buy that property, by the fact that you buying it, you're responsible for the property taxes. But did you sign anywhere? No, as a matter of fact, when you buy a piece of property, your name is not even on the deed. The deed is from the seller to you. The seller signs the property over to you. If you ever look at the deed, the buyer's signature is not on the deed. So you never signed anything taking responsibility for those property taxes. Now, the law is you have to pay them. But here's the thing is if you don't pay them, the only way the government have to get their money is to foreclose on the property and take the property away from you, but they cannot harm your credit. So as a result, an in rem debt is you can let hundreds of properties go. How do I know this? Because I've done it. I have an 800 credit score, and 2 months ago, I let a property go for tax deed sale. 3 or 4 months ago, I let a property go for tax deed sale. I have excess proceeds coming to me right now in the next few weeks. Multiple checks are coming to me. I still have an 800 credit score. So what it means, but most people don't know that. So the sellers think, oh my God, my property gets foreclosed. And my credit's going to be shot. And they don't know that they actually have the right for excess proceeds. So therefore, what is the risk for you to get those deals? So let's look at the worst case scenario. You get this property, you pay. So here's the process again. You get this process. This is very valuable information. It's just 30 minutes. And there we go. Thank you, Rashida. And Andrew says, I love this. Carla says, I love this. Great. So here's the process that you do for that. Number one, well, first of all, actually, let me share with you some proof that this actually exists. So yeah, so again, before we do that, let me double show my screen. Let me see what I have here. So I bought property behind the prison that excess proceeds. So all I did, and here's the thing, I sell. What the process for this is the following: you go get a list of properties that are about to come up for tax deed auction. You contact them, and this is usually not a list of tens of thousands of people. This is a list of 50 people, 30 people, 75 people, 100 people, 300 people, or 400 people, or something like that. So what I did is I sent 100 letters to 100 landowners whose property was severely delinquent for non-payment of property taxes and whose property came up for auction just 6 weeks later. It cost me $100 in mailing cost. $100. That was it. All right? Then now, they were 2 months ago away from going to auction. Plus, it cost me, then I offered $100 for the property. I got one deal out of those 100. And then it cost me $50 to record the deal. So how much was I in? $100 for mailing, $100 for the property, $50 for recording. $250. And then that property sold, as I mentioned, for $14,500. The county got their $3,500. I paid $400 fee. I got $10,100 sent back to me. So in other words, I got $10,100 in profits, or 4,040% return on my $250 investment. Right? So how did I know how these were 2 months out from auction, and where do I get the list? Guys, you're asking all the right questions. I love it. I will answer those questions just right now. So again, the strategies is actually beautiful, because here's the thing. The excess proceeds strategies from the tax deed is like you buy them directly from people who don't pay the property taxes. You let them go to the tax deed sale and so on. There's other ones. But let me actually share with you now my other screen and share with you exactly where you find that out. Okay, so first thing is, let's go over here. Where do I want to go? Okay. The first thing you can do, first, let me show you one. There we go here. Oh, there we go. First of all, let me show you one. This is California, San Diego County. Just an example. San Diego County Treasurer Tax Collector. There is a place that basically shares the next tax auctions happening here. There's like a bunch of things here, but more than anything, there is, let me see, they have a list here that says redeeming your property, pay the registration, important excess proceeds, prior sales result. Here it says excess proceeds. It explains you. Excess proceeds from the sale of tax defaulted property is defined as any amount that is more than $150 after tax assessment, liens, fees, costs when the sale has been satisfied. Pursuant to tax code, blah, 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 the fees authorized to be deducted, blah, 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 blah. It explains to you exactly what it is. Most importantly, though, is something else here. It says, first of all, it says here, it says here on the right side, where there's a bunch of things, excess proceeds, prior sales results, and there's also somewhere it should say like upcoming auctions. But let's look at prior sales result. So if I go here, what it shows me, first of all, it tells me that in 2024, 468 properties were offered, 149 properties were sold, $4 million in tax to sell, and there's, look at that, 4,694 bidders bid on 469 properties. When 4,000 bidders bid on these properties, do you think they're bidding it up to the wazoo? Absolutely. Most importantly, you can see, like, you look at that, here are the past auctions. So if I pull up this auction, like if I pull this up here, this one here, where is it? Let me actually go this here. If I pull up the last auction, May 9th to the 15th, or was it May 9th to the 14th of 2025, here's the PDF that comes up, and it showed me what sold. So look at this. Here's a property that had a back taxes. Here's a property that had back taxes of $3,420.31 plus some extra fees, and it sold for $15,100. So then after the fees, it generated $9,872 in excess proceeds. This one generated $2,500. This one $8,800. This one $8,100. This one $12,000 in excess proceeds. This one generated $46,000 in excess proceeds. In other words, somebody let this property go for nothing. It owed $76,000 in back taxes, but it sold for $130,000. In other words, that could have been you. You could have gone and buy these properties for probably this person. If they owe $76,000 in back taxes, do you think they care about this property? No. Do you think they probably would have taken a $500 offer from you just to get rid of this property? And you assume the $76,000 in back taxes. You don't pay them off. That's the key. You just get them a deed. They sign the deed. You record the deed. You now own the property. And your property now owes $76,000 in back taxes. You let it go to auction. It sells for $130,000. You just made $46,000. $1,000. So look at this one. This one had $56,000 in back taxes, and it sold for $390,000. Somebody made $325,000 in excess proceeds. Don't you regret, don't you wish you would have known that before May 9th of 2025? Because you could have been the one contacting those people. You could have been the one getting this property for a few $100 or a couple of $1,000s or so, and there. People think you're crazy, but if you offer $300 and get a record and sit back and wait for the auction, yes, exactly. Because here's the thing, if they owe $56,000 in back taxes, that's probably like 5 years of property taxes that they haven't paid. They either don't have the money to pay the property taxes, or they just simply don't care about it and they don't want it anymore. Who's excited about this? Do you guys see this? $325,000, $420,000 in back taxes. Like $420,000 in back taxes. This property sold for $500,000 and owed $67,000 worth of back taxes. Like this one here, it goes on and on and on. All you need, and how many properties were in there? 400 properties. 400 properties were here in 2024. You could have, with 468 letters, you probably would have gotten 2 or 3 of these deals. And if you get the right deals, you could have potentially made 6 figures off these properties. And these people are probably stressed out about these big tax bills because they're getting nasty letters from the county again and again and again. Look at that. Let's go back even one more. Like, look at this one. This one was the tax auction from March 14th to March 19th, 2025. All right, so this one, this tax auction, what do we have here? 1,500, 2,700, 6,000, 13,000, 7,000, 5,000, 6,000, 3,000, 2,000, 4,000, 4,000, 16,000, 70,000, 240,000, 2,400, 2,000, 1,000, 968, 1,100, 1,100. So some of them are smaller, but some of them are 10,000. Some of them are 3,800. Some of them are 41,000. Some of them are 31,000. Like, guys, 52,000, 25,000, 6,000, $647,000. Who is excited about this strategy, guys? This is a strategy that you can use in about 15 to 20 states of the United States. It only works in tax deed states. It only works where there's tax deed auctions, and it only works where there's rules that the last owner of record gets the property taxes. But this is the thing. Is that cool? Now, how much effort did it take to get those deals? Now, I've done deals. The best deal I've done is I send out about 300 letters, and I got 3 lots from one company. Right? They didn't care about it. They owed a total of something about $150,000 in back taxes. I paid them $100, and I actually happened to be in California at that time, so I met with them. The guy drove up in a beautiful Mercedes-Benz with a gold Rolex and basically says, you know what? I just don't care. I don't want this property anymore. You can have it. I am glad to be rid of the burden of property ownership. He didn't know there was tax delinquent. He didn't know there was excess proceeds, and he didn't care, and he wasn't in distress. So he simply just had no use for the property. So I let them go to taxes. One of the lots sold for $7,500. One sold for $50,000 in overages, and one sold for $150,000 in overage, in excess proceeds. I made $200,000 on a $100 investment. Now, that's an exception. That's not a promise. I'm not promising you do that. I also made as little as $3,500. I have a $16,000 check coming in. I had just come in not too long ago. I have a $12,000 and a $10,000 check coming in the next couple of months for that. But the point is, this is the beauty. Now, here's an extra caveat. Did I tell you guys that you're buying these properties from the original owners 2 months before the auction? Now, what that means, so there's actually multiple exit strategies here. One exit strategy is you just simply wait and let it go to the auction. But in the meantime, couldn't you also market that property on the open market? Let's say it has $10,000 in back taxes, and you market it on the open market. Somebody offers you $35,000 for the property. Couldn't you just sell it too? Right? You could do that too. So here's how we usually now use the strategy. We identify the properties that have a couple, 3 months coming up for auction. And how do you do that? Again, let me show you. I'll show that to you in a second. We identify those properties. Then we go contact the owners. We get these properties under contract. They say, yes, we want to sell it to you for $100, $200, $500. I never paid more than $500 for a property like that. And then you simply send them a deed. They sign it. You send them the $500. You send the deed for recording. And then I usually have about another 6 weeks left before the auction. So in those 6 weeks, I'm going to market the property like crazy. And if I sell it before, I sell it. We close before it. The property taxes get paid off. A new owner comes in, and I made a secure profit. If I don't sell it in that time period, I simply let it go to the auction. And here's another little trick. And I let everyone know. I let everyone that was interested in this property while I marketed it, I let everyone know that the property is going for auction. Because you know what's going to happen? And when I let them know that this property is going for auction, they all going to register for the auction, and they all going to bid that property up even more, making me an even bigger excess proceeds profit. You guys get the sneakiness of this? You got a little trick? If you already have people that are interested in the property, send them to the auction and create competition for your property. so that it sells even more. And you guys see that, guys? Guys, you're here. I'm not here to teach you strategies, guys, by the way, even though, of course, I'm teaching you strategies. I'm here to teach you how you can become the strategist. Because can you start seeing how we're thinking different in this land world? How we're thinking about these different things? Like, you don't just go follow a process. Obviously, you follow the process, you make money. But you need to become the strategist. And how do you become the strategist? Right? How do you become the strategist? You become the strategist by having a tool full of tool belts. And so you know that if X happens, you do Y, and if Y happens, you do Z, and if Z happens, you do X, right? That's what you want to do, right? So again, this is like, you want to do this, like that you want to become a strategist. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. All right, so now let me show you how to do this. And I think we have a guest here too. Barb is a guest here already. If not, let me know when a guest is here.
He's here.
Is here? Okay, well, actually, let's bring Lori in because this is not just me doing this. This is actually also some of our students are doing this. So Lori, is Lori here? Let me see. Oh, there you are. Hey, Lori, how are you doing?
Hi. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing fantastic. So Lori, have you been listening in for a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes,
so you saw me talk about the excess proceeds strategy, and you are currently in one of our programs, and you're also in our ultimate boardroom, and you listened to this strategy in our land business school, and you're like, oh my God, I need to do this, right? And what have you done with that strategy?
So it was very interesting. I listened to a call of yours, and then I simultaneously went to a tax deed auction in our area that was live. And it was like a light bulb went off because I realized that some of these properties were selling for $50,000 that owed like $3,000 in taxes. And it was just like, it was like a good timing thing for me because I had listened to your call, and then within a week I had gone to that auction, and it's like, I have to try this. So I did. I sent out, I found, I subscribed to a service to give me the list of the auctions like a month or so before the auctions. And we started sending letters, and also started, sending letters. We did make some outbound calls and texts. I feel like the letters are the best. And yeah, I ended up not only getting some that went to surplus. I learned a little bit with that. But I was able to get some properties pretty cheap. So just like you said, I mean, you kind of pivot when you have the opportunity in front of you of like, what choice do I keep this and sell it myself? A lot of it depends on if the title's clear. If you don't have a clear title, let it go to auction, right? But yeah, it's been, I really enjoy this part of the business. It's fun. Like, I feel like it's like fun. And I also feel like the position you're in when they call you is you're really helping them. Everybody I've done this transaction with has been like, I'm so glad I called you. You know what I mean? Like they're because they were just going to get nothing. They're going to lose it. So it's been good.
Yeah. And so how many deals like that have you done?
Like that, that were, well, so
how many deals have you gotten with the intention of potentially letting go to auction, like using what I just talked about? And then the exit strategy, you sometimes pivoted, but yeah. I think you mentioned something like quite a few.
Yeah, I've gotten, so also, let me also add, I've gotten quite a few, but I also, when somebody calls me and I can't get it for some reason, I've done all the research. I'll just bid on that property in the auction. So, you know what I mean? Because I know what the property's worth now. I've done all that research. I'm like, I'm just going to put a bid in and see if I get it. And if I get it, I get it. So, right now I started 14 months ago, and right now I have 18 properties either under contract or either under contract or I own them, because I did buy some at the auction, and I did buy some before the auction. So I have like 18 right now, and I've closed 17 deals so far.
Wonderful. Wow. That's guys. So I'm showing you, this is a strategy that is not just good for just one deal, but you can actually do them in a larger size. And particularly what I love what you just said, Lori, is that you basically built up your tool belt by understanding how this works. You went and you realized that, oh, there's tax deed auctions. Okay, let me learn how to go. Let me go understand this. But you also understood that there's excess proceeds. So when you attended the auction, you're like, these properties owe $3,000. It's sold for $50,000. Somebody just made $47,000 here, and it wasn't me. So let me go figure out how I can be that person. And then at the same time, you realize if the people don't accept your offer, but you did the research on the property, since you now understand tax deed auctions, you now went to the tax deed auctions and bid on the tax deed auctions, and you know if it's worth 15, you got it for 25. That's still a great deal. And then in some cases you got them for, what is the cheapest you got a property like that from somebody?
Well, what's cheapest? I bought it for $1,800. I bought one for $800.
Okay. So $800 or $1,000. It's even more than I usually recommend, but that's okay because you've done the research. It's worth paying more if you know that the property is worth more. Then, so let's say $800 to $1,000. And in this case, now because you still have a month or so to go, you again used your tool belt and you said, well, I can let them go to auction, or I can also sell them on the open market. And in some cases, you have sold them on the open market before the auction, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've done it all different ways. My intention was to do the surplus. I went in there with that head of, I'm going to do the surplus. And I realized like every single thing is different. And you just need to look at the particular situation in front of you. I've gotten some really good ones. I got one just last week that I bought for 11,000. I already sold it for 34. And I sold it literally. I bought it that morning. I put it on the market that day, and it was sold within 24 hours. So, and that was the same thing. It was the same thing. And the crazy thing is, my coach Aaron said to me, "Why didn't you just let that one go to surplus?" And I'm like, in my head, I didn't even think of, like, in me, it was a clear title. So I'm like, I'll just try to sell it. But like, I probably could have let it go to surplus and made the same money, but I just didn't think about it.
That like the surplus is always a great option. But if you have enough time, why not look to maximize the retail market value on there? And because sometimes in the surplus, also depending where you do it, something we haven't talked about yet, is you have to wait a little bit for your money. Like in California, you have to wait up to 12 months for your money, which is not great. But in other counties, Utah, you get it within a matter of like 6-8 weeks. But if you happen to close it, if you happen to sell it right away on the open market, well, you get paid as soon as it closes. You do a 2-week close. 2 weeks later, you got, in this case, 11,000 to 30 something. You made 20 something $1,000 in that deal in probably a matter of 2 weeks.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too far in because I didn't know how the counties I was working, like how they would pay, and it took 120 days to get a check. Yeah. So that's
case, instead of waiting 4 weeks to the auction and then 120 days to the check, you put it on the market, got a really great price within 1 day, and sold it, and closed 2 weeks later. And 2 weeks later, you have $22,000 check in the pocket. Anyone okay with that, guys? You guys okay with that? Yeah, I see Shell. I see you nodding. Yes. Justin there. Okay. Yeah, exactly, guys. So this is, stay with me for a second. I'm just going to share my screen for a little bit, because who would like to know where you actually get those lists? Where you get those lists? Who would like to know where you get those lists, guys? So here's how you do. Here's how you go and get those lists. So the first thing you want to do is, where is my screen? Let me see. Where am I here? Let me go. There we go. So I think that's it. Yeah. First of all, you can go to good old Uncle Google and basically say tax sale lists. You look for tax sale lists, and what comes up is a whole bunch of links here. You can get some records, but what I like to go to tax sale resources, for example. And if you go to tax sale resources, you can try for free, or you can set up an account and you can log into that. And when you log into this, you actually you go into login. There's actually two different options here. You can log in there, and there's actually two different companies behind it. I log into tax deed buyers, and under tax deed buyers, you can go and literally look up when these auctions are coming up. You can say, I want to look up any kind of auction dates. I'm going to look up anything in California that's coming up in the next, not auction date. It must be today or later. Let me see, like anything 2006 or so. But bottom line, I can also actually, here's an auction calendar. Easiest way is you just simply go on the top right, top left, there's auction calendar. And it basically tells you that in California, where this works, there is on December 12th, December 9th, there's in Los Angeles County, there's a tax deed auction. I can also look at, let's see, what are Texas? In Texas, I can see look at that, there's monthly auctions. Now, some of them don't have many properties, but some of them do. Some of them have 27, 22, 23, 22. But the point is, you don't need many properties in there. You just need one deal. So if you pick a couple of those, well, what else is? You look at these kind of things, like these things. Oh, look at that. Redeemable deed, 1,711, 445, 443. And when do they come up? Right now here, like some of them are in the December thing, they show you when they're coming up already. And for example, as I went in San Diego County, it told me that the next auction, the next big auction, they only have like 2 auctions a year. The next one is coming up March 13th to the 19th of 2026. And you can get out the notifications. You can go also to the auction website. There's like different websites, and you can start seeing the lists and things like that. So all this data of where these properties are available is already, there's aggregating websites around that you can subscribe to, and then you can basically get notifications several weeks ahead of time on when these properties come up. And that's what you use, softwares like websites like that is what you use, Lori, right?
Yeah.
So great. So what is the biggest deal that you have done with this?
You know, I'm just going to be honest here. I was a little scared at the beginning to play in big numbers because some head trash. Like there's no reason not to play in bigger numbers. But for me, I was just nervous and like, it just sounds like more. So I kind of stayed on the smaller side for the first 6 months, but probably, I think the highest one was like maybe I bought one for 3,700 and sold it for 27,000. So that was a pretty good one. So I'm kind of, that's probably the biggest one. And this one that I just mentioned earlier, I kind of was staying, like my target with those was, $5,000 to $10,000 because to learn it all. But I do see now that it's probably better to go into the bigger numbers. But with tax sales, it's not as big as I feel like if you're sending letters and I feel like the numbers aren't as,
17 deals of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 is a nice chunk of change.
My target's 5,000. If I have to clear titles or something like it's 5,000. I don't want to do the deal if it's not 5,000.
Okay, so 5,000 is your minimum, and then you have done deals into the 20,000s, and that's exciting. Who is okay with those numbers, guys? Put it in the chat box. Who's okay with making 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and an occasional $20,000 on the deal? Right now, you guys understand. And what is the largest mailing that you send out to some of these upcoming tax deed auction lists?
Very little. It's the tax deed stuff is very little mail because there's not, I send maybe 500 letters a month for the tax deed surplus letters.
And out of those, then that typically gets you 1 or 2 deals?
Yeah. Sometimes more.
Beautiful.
Sometimes less. Sometimes I got, it was really interesting. I played around with it and made my letters on letterhead and and then wrote a little bio. And it seems like people are nervous and think you're going to get scammed. So it's as much credibility as you can do with your letters. And I feel like I've upped my game a bit and it's getting better. So I've made everything nicer and I feel like it's working better.
Beautiful. Yes. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for sharing this with us. I wanted to make sure that we have somebody that actually does those right now, today, shares their experience. Yeah, that's what I want to have you here. So thanks. Don't want to take much more of your time, and thank you for being with us, Lori.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So was that cool, guys? Give Lori a big round of applause, everyone. Wasn't that cool? Can anyone here send out 500 letters and personalize them a little bit, and then out of that get 1, 2, or 3 deals and make $5,000 to $20,000 from each of those? Yeah, absolutely. So you got to do some of these things, but that's what we are talking about here. So this is what the thing. So the process again works. You look for the states where tax deeds are happening, and that's very simply, there's a list of them, about 22 states that do tax deed auctions. Then you go subscribe to one of these websites that I just showed you. You go Google it, you find them. You can also get this information for free online. There's basically the counties publish it for free. And then you look for a county that has an auction coming up about 4 to 8 weeks from now. Anything else is a little tight. Then you go get the list of the properties, and you send everyone that owns a piece of land, particularly pieces of land. You can do it with houses too, but I particularly love it with land. You send them a nice letter and ask them to contact you quickly. I'll contact you. They do. And again, as Lori says, they're very grateful because they're in their mind, their credit is about to be shot. They're about to get foreclosed on. They're about to, they don't want this property anymore. And if they can get rid of this property before the auction, hallelujah, you're their savior. So you contact them, you get the property from them for $100, $500, $800, $1,000, whatever you're comfortable with. You obviously, before you get that property, do a little due diligence on that property. You do a little bit of research to make sure that's indeed a good property. Then you go buy it, but you do not pay the property taxes. You do not, that's the key. The moment you pay the property taxes, it's off the auction. It doesn't go to the auction anymore. You do not want to do this. You want to just pay the seller and record the deed. By law, you do not have to pay the property taxes when you take ownership of a parcel. Just ownership changes. And then you have one of two choices. You either put it on the market in the remaining 3-4 weeks, and what happens, Lori, can happen. You sell this property very quickly and you make a $22,000 profit in a matter of a few days. Or you let it go to auction and let the people bid on it. And even if you can, even increase competition at the property by sending anyone that was interested in the property over there. And then it bids up, they bid it up, and then the county gets what was owed. You get what's called the overage, the excess proceeds. And as a result, then you wait perhaps 30 days, 60 days, 120 days, depending what the county rules are, and you get a big, fat check without having done anything to sell that property. Now, here's the thing. This is just, now, who likes this strategy? Give me a high five, give me a thing, put some of these emojis into the thing here. I saw some of you guys put like thumbs ups or hearts or something up there. Love that. So who love this strategy, guys? This is what happens when you work with a Harvard of land flipping, when you work with the OGs of land investing. We don't just teach you one cookie cutter strategy. We have over 20 different strategies that we can teach that over time you want to put around your tool belt so that when something comes up, you can respond in multiple different ways. Right? So with that said, here's a couple of more strategies that you can use. So, for example, you can buy these properties for excess, let them go for excess proceeds at a tax deed sale. Also, you buy them directly from the properties that didn't pay property taxes. Then you can also go, like Lori said, sometimes you perhaps make them an offer, they don't accept it. Well, you follow the property. If the property still goes to tax deed auction, go attend the tax deed auction. You know everything about the property already. You already know it's worth $60,000. You already know it owes $5,000 in back taxes. You already know you can probably sell it for 40 quickly. So go attend the tax auction and bid at the tax auction. And if you can get it for $20,000, $25,000, great, buy it there. And now you still have enough space to make money on the property. And then also there's a strategy where you can buy them directly over the counter as stock of properties. Because there's an additional strategy that I'll talk about, well, I can talk about it right now, that in some cases, not every property sells at the tax deed auction, but some properties don't sell. They just don't get bidders because who knows? It might have been raining outside that day at the tax deed auction, might have been storming, might have just not gotten bids. It might have been the day where, I don't know, whatever happened, a big drama, a big catastrophe happened in the world and everyone was glued to the television and nobody wanted to leave the house. And as a result, no bidder showed up. And in that case, you can actually also go and buy sometimes these properties directly from the counties without even bidding at the minimum bid. But that's something we'll talk about a different way. Bottom line, though, is there's all these strategies. And in addition to those tax delinquent strategies, we also have developed over the years, since we have been doing this since the end of 2002 and have done thousands of deals, we have developed over 20 strategies. Like, for example, one strategy is to make lowball offers to realtors on ugly listings. Reverse land wholesaling. In other words, getting properties at 70-80% of market value, but selling them for full market value to builders who will buy as many as you want. 7-figure land development deals, bird dogging, like how to find these deals and pass them on and be part of the deal and potentially make 6 figures by just finding them. Actually, something I'll talk about tomorrow. In tomorrow's session, it's all about 7-figure land development deals that you can find JV on without ever buying them, without ever even spending much money on marketing, on how to make 6 figures and sometimes even 7 figures. How to do blind offers in very niche pockets. How to do RV lots and boat slips for quick cash. Buying and selling notes, probate deals, raising money and saving taxes, 5K properties for easy cash flow. All of these things are strategies that we are teaching. So who would love to be able to still today have access to the full details of the excess proceeds strategy that I just shared, guys? Who would love to have all of these, who have access to have to the exact strategy that I shared with you today? Well, let me talk to you about this. Have you ever wanted to get into real estate, but you don't know what strategy to use? Do you fear high risk and sleepless nights? Do you think you're sick and tired of the industry because everyone charges $10,000 to $50,000 for their programs? You're worried about headaches, stress, and hassles of houses? Are you on call? Are you worried about being on call 24/7 for contractors, tenants, and repairs, or tied down to an area? Well, very simply, with land, you are finally at a niche where you can relax and you can actually get deals done in a way that none of what I just said is an issue, where you can get monthly cash and cash flow fast, where you have low risk with high returns, none of the headaches and hassles of houses, where you can do this part-time from 6 to 10 hours a week from home, where you invest nationwide working from home, like when we talked about the excess proceeds deal right now. If you want to do deals in California, but you're in Omaha, then do deals from Omaha in California. If you're in Illinois and that's a tax lien state, and he's like, darn, I can't do deals in Illinois, well, then do them in Texas, do them in Florida. Doing them in California, because the world, it works, and you don't have to be at those properties, particularly when dealing with land. So you can create your own economy. You actually trademark that term. You can create your own economy, guys, and that is so crucial in today's world. Guys, you don't want to come to investment methods with a Chicken Little or kind of like that scared chicken attitude. You want to come to investment method with that soaring phoenix kind of energy, with that maverick kind of energy, with that Zach when everyone is zigging kind of energy, and more than anything, with the knowledge that there's strategies out there that you can do. Strategies out there that you can do, because with more time and more money equals more freedom. If you look at the deals, like sending out 500 letters a month to get 2-3 deals, anyone can do that. So anyone can invest in land if you do it the right way. So what do I want to say is, like, we have turned the land market on its head. We're offering a unique opportunity right now that will blow you away. And I want you to be, who is ready to blow up your land business to success without breaking the bank? Rod is saying, tax program worked. I bought a property in Arizona and flipped it to a developer for $42,000 in profits. Thank you, Rod. That is beautiful. Who is ready to finally blow up your real estate business without breaking the bank? Right? That's what we're talking about here right now. And what we're going to do is finally, I'm going to disclose to you and explain to you and teach you not just one strategy, but our top 20 niche strategies to make money with land. And this program is called the Land Business School. Your life changes now. Welcome to the brand new Land Business School. Master your best land strategies, start step by step, one per month, for less than it takes for your loved one to go for dinner. Who would like to skip a chicken dinner and instead to do what Lori just told us she's doing? Right? Here's what we're doing. Here's, on top of it, be trained by the top 1% of land investors in the nation. Right? So here's what the Land Business School is. Land Business School is a monthly membership program where every month we teach you one complete niche strategy to make money with land in the United States without a huge marketing budget. And the way we do this is we teach you every week live. This is not pre-recorded session. You just get a bunch of videos that you watch. This is live training with Q&A every week, one evening a week. We go live for an hour to an hour and a half. and we teach you one strategy per month. Every single month. Yes, absolutely, guys. So yes, here's the opportunity. So we're going to teach you one money-making strategy a month, step-by-step instructions and demonstrations, a deep dive on the exact implementation details, so you can automate and outsource steps for a big part of the strategy, and even how to measure your success and how to scale that business. Now, but that's not it all. You, on top of it, you also get to be part of a community. You get the recordings of the sessions, and you get all the documents that you need. So when Lori talked about she's sending out a letter, you get that letter. When Lori said she's using a contract, you get that contract. When Lori, so you, when Lori says she knows which state this works in, you get a list of the states that this works in. You get the exact steps, the process steps that you need to follow, right? So the goal each month is to have you actually making money using the strategy of the month. That so so how much should this cost? How much should live instruction every single week? Every single week, how much should live instruction every single week cost? Where we teach you one strategy, a strategy that Lori used to make already, I think she didn't say exactly, but probably close to the 6 figures, using this exact strategy that I shared with you today, the excess proceeds strategy, with the variation of sometimes attending the auction and sometimes actually selling at the open market. So we really combined 3 strategies into one. Now it should cost $10,000, right? But you don't pay that. Anyone out there is probably, I know people who charge for like tax lien and tax deed training, they charge like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for their coaching programs, which is ridiculous. You can learn tax deed and tax lien strategies in 4 one-hour sessions, and you can be more effective and more successful than in any of these other kind of programs. So it should cost $10,000, but it's not. It's not even $5,000. It's not even $995. It's not even $95, guys. Very simply, the Land Business School is right now just simply $55 a month. But please note, this is the last time. We've already offered this 3 times before this year, but this is the last time this is going to be available at $55 a month. We're increasing the price significantly. So this is your opportunity right now to get in still at $55 a month and be grandfathered in at $55 a month. So if you join us today at $55 a month, you will not receive, when we can increase the price, you will stay at $55 a month. Or if you want to enroll for the full year, it's just $555. So you actually save $105. And again, you get grandfathered into that. You will not be, the price will not be increased. Now, how do you get there? You go to landbizschool.com and enroll right now. And here's the thing. What's included in Land Biz School? So it's 4 virtually live trainings every month with myself or the top 1% land master investors in the nation. So we're taking a rotating thing. So this month, I'm actually teaching a class. I'm teaching the class. So if you join us right now, you get to actually be taught by me the strategy of how to raise money for your deals. Because if you need to do, like if you need to attend a tax deed auction and you bid something up for $22,000 and you sell it for $40,000, you need $22,000. Where do you get the money from if you don't have it? In this month's session, I'm actually teaching you how to raise money and also how to save taxes. Next month's strategy is how to find deals for $300 and sell them for $5,000 with seller financing and create cash flow streams with no money out of your own pocket. Right? This is 4 live virtual strategies, 1 profitable strategy each month, including step-by-step implementation, instant access to a 7-part land course, all needed documents, contracts, templates, letters, worksheets, access to the recordings for the lifetime that you are a member in this program, exclusive Land Business School community, the Investment Dominator software, our software, 45 days for free that you're going to use to do a lot of these deals and load your data in and manage your leads through, and then 500 free land deals anywhere in the country for your choice, including tax delinquent data. You can pick tax delinquent data out of our data. And again, the Investment Dominator for free. I've mentioned that. So again, this is a cool component because it's the simplest way to streamline, scale your business, has AI systems and things in there. Again, this is only just $55 a month. You can cancel anytime. We even give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. So literally, you're enrolled today for $55. You don't like it within 30 days, you simply cancel and we give you your $55 back. This is the reason we do this so cheap is that there's 2 kinds of people out there. There's the kinds of people that are skeptical about everything. I see the comments in there's like, Jack, this is like, here comes the sales pitch. Jack wants to sell us something. Yes, of course. The thing here is, guys, if you try this on your own, it's going to take you 10x longer, and you're going to probably spend thousands of dollars with wasted marketing and wasted kind of attempts. Instead, if you can just spend $55 and learn how to do this properly, it'll save you money. It'll save you time. And number two, the second kind of person is the person who doesn't trust anyone. And I understand, you don't trust me. You might have come here brand new. Is this the first time you joined anything I've ever done? Like who here is this is the first person that actually, first time you got exposed to me, Jack here. Like Josh says me, like the first time Profeta says it's the first time, Rashida, Charlene, many other ones say it's the first time, guys. So the thing is, you don't know me from Adam. You don't know me, guys. You don't know, am I just bullshitting you? Am I telling you a bunch of stuff that's not true? I mean, I hope you can already tell that we're sincere here. I hope you can already tell that what I shared with you actually works, and you saw Lori's deals and so on. But more than anything, I want to prove to you that this works. And I want to prove it to you without breaking the bank. I want to earn your trust. And the way I want to earn your trust is by offering something to you that's so inexpensive and affordable that it really becomes a no-brainer. Like, skip dinner, have ramen noodles instead of a $55 per burger dinner out, and you can afford this program. And then you just apply exactly what Lori just did, and 30 days from now, you might already have your first $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 deal on a contract. And when that happens, then I know you will trust us for the rest of your life. Then I know we have gained another trusting, we gained another successful customer. We're on the way to create another millionaire. This is what this is all about, guys. So go to Land Business School. Now, how do you get access to what I just talked about? Very simply, with the bonuses. Enroll in the monthly subscription. And on top of the monthly strategy that we teach right now, which is how to raise money, we also get 2 of our prior strategies. So the excess proceeds method, we already covered it a few months ago, and you will get instant access to the strategy as a free gift from me. You enroll today for $55, you get the program that we're covering right now this month, and as a free gift from me, you get 2 months worth of extra trainings. You get the excess proceeds method and the blind offer method, which is actually the one that we talk about on Wednesday. So we'll talk about that on Wednesday. But all you need to do is right now go to Land Biz School, enroll for $55. You get the strategy that we're teaching right now this month, and you get the excess proceeds method immediately open up to you, and the blind offer strategy immediately open up to you. But it gets even better. If you choose, it's like getting 2 full months of Land Business School for free of charge. Now, it gets even better. If you enroll in the annual program, where you pay for the full year ahead of time right now, so it's $555, you not only get the excess proceeds and the blind offer strategy, you also get our strategy on how to find RV lots and fast profits and big payouts, how to buy and sell land nodes for big payouts, and also the $1 million dirt development bird dogging strategy for 6-figure profits, which we'll cover tomorrow. So that strategy you can get when you subscribe to the annual program right now. Now, how do you do that? How do you subscribe to that? Very simply, you go to landbizschool.com. And when you go to landbizschool.com, you simply go and select right here. This is the order page, like landbizschool.com. And right up here, it says bill monthly, bill yearly. You switch over to the yearly. You click on the bill yearly, right? Bill monthly, bill yearly. And you fill this out. And when you do that, that's when you then, in addition, get all the additional kind of bonuses, right? So that's what this is. That's what this is all. This what this is about. So you get all these additional bonuses. So with that said, continuing on, I just want to make sure this is the last time you're going to offer that at the $55. So that's like getting extra 5 full months worth of Land Business School free of charge. When you do the annual one, you get the next 12 months, and you get these extra 5 trainings. So each of those is worth, well, probably $1,000 or more. Again, enroll in the monthly, get 2 for 1 offer. Also, obviously, that means the way we do this is we bill you 30 days from the day that you enroll. So if you enroll today, you actually also get 2 for 1, because you get the month that we're in right now. You get the November program, and you also get next month's program, which is the December program, where we're going to talk about, again, how to find deals for $300 and then go sell them for $5,000 to $10,000 with quick cash flow and $500 down payment. So we're going to talk about how to create cash flow streams from land without using any of your money and very minimal marketing. Who would like to know about how that works? Well, we're going to cover that in December. So the best thing you can do is, if you enroll right now, you get everything we cover in November, and then you're still going to be a member for a good part of December, and therefore you're already getting the December part with it. So you get basically 2 months for the price of 1. Again, so hopefully, again, if you look at it, the 4 virtual trainings each month, the clean implementation guidelines, the 7-part land investing course, all documents, access to the land community, the investment dominator, 500 leads. You even get my like I show you on Wednesday, you get my free book for free, my latest book for free, the access proceeds method, and the blind offer strategy if you sign up for the monthly. And if you sign up for the annual subscription, you get in addition 3 additional strategies for free. Again, all of this has a tremendous value, over $6,000. You just pay $55 a month. Everything you need to get your first land deal, potentially still in 2025. Prices, but definitely in 2026. Prices will increase. This is the last time we're offering this at the $55 mark. So again, overall, we're going to teach you 20 such strategies. And again, make sure you enroll right now, because there's even a live class that's happening this Tuesday. So in other words, tonight I'm teaching the live class on how to raise money and how to save taxes. So if you're enrolled today, you get your login credentials, you get the link. You can even attend tonight already at 4 p.m. Pacific for this class. Guys, look at our students' lives look like today. We went from 0 to millionaires and quit our jobs in 6 months. We retired my dad. We're here for our daughter when she needs us. In 2024, we took 3 months and traveled to Europe. In 2025, we took 2 months and traveled to Europe. In 2026, we're planning to travel 3 months around the year. You can do the exact same thing, because look at Carrie. She made $156,000 on her first deal. Anne-Marie made $87,000. Lori bought her dream lake home. Aline went from living in a 1-bedroom apartment to a house to a beautiful house in her 70s. Michael closed his first deal for $24K and another $40K in the pipeline. Master Coach Sternke closed close to 135K deals working outside of the United States. Guys, this is the program for you. This is the year you can change your life. Now, we're not for everyone, guys. We're not for everyone. We only for the ones that want to belong to a tribe of crazy people that think they can change lives. We are those crazy people. We put in our banner that we care more. Like, we care more. If you want to belong, if you want to care, then this is the right place for you. Right? So with that said, guys, who is in? Who is in? Who is going to be in? Who likes this, guys? Carla says, like, I'm in. Okay, wonderful. Like, Ryan said, already signed on. Victor said, I'm in. Wonderful. Guys, we're having 3 days of this palooza right now. Tomorrow, we're going to cover how to find 7- and 8-figure land development deals without even picking up a shovel, and how to then pass them on to a development partner so that you can and be cut into the deal and potentially make whatever, 5, 10, 15, 20% of that deal, 5, 10, 20% of in some cases, a multi-million-dollar profit without contributing $1 to the property, without buying the property, just simply by finding a development land deal. Would you like to know how to do that? Guess what? When you enroll in this program right now in the annual, you actually already get the recordings for it, but tomorrow I'm going to share with you exactly how to do this. And then on day 3, we're going to cover blind offers. How to get deals fast using direct mail, but not blanket direct mail, in very targeted niches very specific niche properties where you use blind offers to get deals at 40, 50 cents on the dollar and then turn them around and sell them in lightning speed for $10,000 or $20,000 profits. That's where we're going to go. Every one of these strategies has one thing in common. Very low marketing expenses, very fast responses, possibility of being able to do a deal in 30 days, not a promise, but a possibility to do deals in 30 days without spending your life savings. That's what these all are about. Now, we have our core strategy, as I mentioned. Our core strategy is more of a mass direct mail, cold calling, texting strategy, a scalable strategy to get a whole bunch of land deals done and so on. But in the process of developing that strategy, we also developed all these little niche strategies. And these little niche strategies, they're perfect for you to get started and start understanding land, start trusting land, start trusting us, start seeing that this is actually possible. And as I said, number one, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Number two, there's also for you the ability you can cancel anytime. There's no hidden fees or anything like that. And these are live trainings designed to help an entire generation of beginning or real estate investors or people that want to get into real estate but are scared of usually the tenants, toilets, and termites and the hassles and all those things to come in and the big cost of education and the big cost of marketing to get started in a less expensive way. We are on a mission to revolutionize the real estate industry. We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires. And you guys saw how cool the strategy was today. Who liked the strategy today? Right? So do we get access to SOPs, templates, etc.? Yes, you do. Each, as a matter of fact, let me quickly share with you how it looks like inside of that program. So right here. So this is where you go in. You go into log into your program, and right there it says Land Business School. So you go now. We go into Land Business School, and in the Land Business School, it basically says, "Hey, here's the next session coming up." And within a couple of hours of the session, there's a link here that you log into your system. And right there's a link that will be the link. And you just click on that and you join this afternoon session. Then what happens is right here, how to raise money and pay less taxes, your monthly worksheet, your student resources, 5 steps to get the business set up. There's a workbook that you get for every single one of these sessions. So here's this is a detailed workbook, right? This is, there's more pages than that. It's coming up right now. There we go. It just took a little bit. This is a detailed workbook that gives you all the details, examples, checklists, documents, principles, how to do this, a number of examples, etc., etc. And then there's the videos. There's each session has a video. These are the first 2 ones. And here are the prior months: October, RV lots; September, buy and sell notes, September, buy and sell notes. What is the next one? August, $1 million dirt development, tax deed gold mines, monthly listings, over-the-counter tax sales, gold calling. And again, when you enroll right now, and each of those come with, each of them come with a worksheet. Each of them come with a contract. Each of them come with every single document that you need to make this strategy happen. It's a course in itself, a complete A to Z, everything included, instructions that shows that we should be charging $500 to $1,000 for every single one of them, but we're not, right? It's $55 a month. It's $55 a month. Then you get the investment dominator for free for 45 days. After 45 days, there's a small discounted fee for the investment dominator. You don't have to use the system. You don't have to use our investment dominator. If you don't want to use it, you simply let us know ahead of time. It's hey, I don't want to use it, and cancel that. And you just continue with the membership area. I do recommend that you use the software over time because, again, it's software itself, and I'll demo it more tomorrow. You can pull data from it, tax delinquent data. You can pull developer data. You can pull multi-million-dollar lot data from it. You can do AI research on it. You can do all these different things with it. So it'll be very, very helpful, and it keeps everything organized. But you can also just do these deals with a pen and paper. You do not need the software for it. We recommend the software, but we don't need it. So that's why we give you a 45-day trial so you can get it. You can get into training for the software. You can really see and learn, is that something I want to use? And if don't, you don't. It's as simple as that. We're never going to sneak something into you. We're not going to pressure you to enter anything. This is very simply just one strategy. Okay. You guys like that? Who's brand new with me right now? Did you guys enjoy that? Give me a heck yes if you enjoyed today's session. Was that good? Tax delinquent strategies, right? Tax delinquent strategies. Like I would think this was actually pretty cool. So let me quickly just go back to all of this, right? Remember, when you get these strategies, the strategy we talked about, where was it? Here, there we go. You get these properties. Each year, $5 billion worth of land is being sold at tax deed auctions. The county puts up the auction. They market these properties. The properties sell at top value. What if you could buy these properties before the auction, just days before the auction, from the long-time owners, do not pay the property taxes, let the properties go to tax sale, let the county be your sales force, at prices above what they owed in back taxes, and then you receive the back taxes, you receive the overage from it without spending much money on it. That's what we share today. If you want that, if you just enroll at the $55 level today, you're going to get as a bonus the exact recording of this strategy, which I taught personally a few months ago. And you get that, get that right there in the vault. You get an email with your login and password to our members area. And when you log in, you get the access to tonight's session and this month's session. You get access to these 2 extra sessions in the monthly. And if you sign up for the annual, you get access to this month's session and 5 months of prior training. Right. So with that said, guys, who's going to be here tomorrow? Because tomorrow I'm going to share with you how to get 7- and 8-figure land development deals without ever picking up a shovel. All right? We good? All right. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.